Hello and welcome back to Bricking It, and today we're looking at a ruined tower with a massive dragon on it. So when I saw the Hungarian Horntail I thought, yes, I've got to get one of those. I didn't have either of the other flappy articles, Hedwig or Forks, because not being mini scale and not having a huge amount of display space, as I keep banging on about, there was just nowhere for me to put them. But I thought, oh, when I saw the Horntail, yes, that could definitely be something we display on the castle. And I wasn't sure really how I was going to do it until I came up with this little design. Now it's a super gloomy day today, so I'm having to film in the light box just so you'll actually be able to see anything I'm doing. So while I strip back the base so I can show you what I did to change that, I'm also going to perform a bit of dragon surgery. So here's our Horntail, stripped back to his fundamentals. I've removed the wings and tail just so it's a little bit easier to maneuver within the box. At this stage he's quite flimsy because all of the bracing support for his central column here has been removed. I'm going to replace that in just a moment, and of course all his base has gone, and all we've got is the mechanism on the bottom here that holds it at that angle. Quite clever. Use one of those ball and socket joints and a hinge. You can see I've got a dark tan one instead of a white one because pieces did tend to ping off into the void, and that was one I couldn't recover. So just before we show you how we base him, I'm just going to brace his central column. So essentially what was grey becomes reddish brown. I'm just going to replace the grey tile that was on here with reddish brown elements instead. So, brace up the sides here. On this side we're going to do it slightly differently. Instead of one long tile piece, we're going to have a couple of different shapes. You may also see on this side I've removed the cranking handle and just replaced it with a little gear piece. Doesn't need to be a gear, it could just be one of those sort of cap pieces that usually come in light grey, but I didn't have any, so that's why I've got a little gear on here. And that's just to stop the pin falling out, but we also don't want or don't need the handle on both sides, and it allows us to put a bit more of extra debris detail on this side if we remove the handle. So let's start basing this up. Now there's a good chance this will explode on me, and I may have to do this off camera, but if I'm careful, hopefully we should be able to get this all together. So first things first, I need to brace underneath this hingy part with what we've got there, 1x6. Just get it in focus. That's just going to be what holds us to the base. And it's just a case of building up bracing all around this area. That shouldn't be in that. Just to make sure there's plenty holding him down to the base. It's going to slot under there. Okay, that's him nicely secured. He's not inclined to go anywhere, but we do just want one more part through the middle there. It's going to have to be a plate just to make sure it slides through because the studs get in the way. So let's see if we can see that more clearly. It's all braced all the way around onto this tan 8x8 plate. So now this is going to be a tower, so we're going to build up those tower elements. Wow, I don't know if you're picking it up on camera, but the rain is really coming down outside. No wonder it's so gloomy today. There we go. We're going to brace this all around again. Start covering up as much of that basing as we can. Just to hide the mechanism. That's the base of our tower and all our bracing hidden away inside. Now you see we've still got some exposed studs, but they're going to be covered up by our next element, which is our tower itself. Now due to the nature of the angle and the various heights involved, one brick will just raise this tower piece up just high enough that it was just going to sit just touching that plate. It's not pushing it out of alignment, everything's down nice and true. And that's going to be the main part of our remaining undamaged tower. Of course there is a top to this tower and that's been knocked flying, and the way we're going to show that is using these hinge pieces. So we've got one on there. Going to take the next layer of the tower. There we go. And the chest is just pushing that forward. You can see there. Just an angle a little bit. And then we need another of these tilts. It becomes a little tricky. Them in, there we go. And that's going to receive the next part of our tower. Come on, there we go. That's on. And the very pinnacle of our tower, we're just going to use one of these little superhero flying stands just to hold the tip of the tower. It's going to slot in there. And there's the main part of our tower being demolished as our dragon flies through it. Now I know for those of you who are curious about the films, he never actually flew through a tower. Made a bit of a mess of Dumbledore's office roof, even more so of the main staircase tower. Then of course he smashed into the viaduct bridge. But that's far too many locations to smash up. So we are going to just confine ourselves to one tower top. Going to build up the rest of the base here. Another one there. I think I had these on the other side before. Not that you can see. Terrible angle. Let's see if we can adjust back down here again. There we go. I'm going to start adding in some debris from our destroyed tower. Oh dear. Okay, put those on there. Now on this side, when we're keeping the handle, we've all got to check our clearances, and we can still action the wings. That's fine. And just to disguise that piece, I'm just going to add in another bit of debris. Now I do like the wings when they're at their full flap up, and luckily with the addition of a little axle pin there, we can wedge the mechanism by passing it through this Technic hole and stopping our dragon from flapping and keeping his arm, or his wings rather, up in that most dynamic position. I keep saying dragon. I'm a bit of a pedant on these things because of course this isn't really a dragon, it's a wyvern or a wyvern, because it only has 2 limbs and a pair of wings, whereas dragons have 4 limbs and a pair of wings. And if you don't agree, I'm sure we'll be fighting in the comments about it soon. So we're going to start putting on our debris. First one here is a little bit clipped on at the front here, again using one of these Power Effects, clipped into a little 1x clip. Pop that on there. got various other bits of debris. We're going to make use of these studs around the dragon's chest just to add in more flying bits of debris. What bits did I use? Okay. Just to make it look like he's really smashing through that tower as he comes past. We're using these 1x2 and 2x2 curved elements because they do follow largely the same curve as the tower. It just allows us to get in that tower look. Just pop some more bits on here. There we go. So dragon rampages through. So the main visual effect we're using here is achieved with this string of pieces just to look like the tower is really shattering and coming apart. So the basis of this is one of these sort of A-frame sort of 30-degree pieces that allows you to change the angle of your builds. A few more plates stuck on it at random angles. We've also got one of these, another tilt table just to adjust the angle at the end, a clip and a bar, and then a couple more clips holding on a bit more debris. And this is going to pop onto our build just here, and that, by adjusting the angle, we get that look of the tower debris streaming away past our dragon as it flies off through the tower. There we go. So we've got a few more bare studs that we can fill up with bits of tower. We'll put these on there. We can get another one in here, because if we're careful, use the angle correctly, we're not going to interfere. Not going to interfere with our handle. Go around. Yep, that's clearing in both instances. Lovely. Good stuff. And let's put one more element back here between his legs. And there we go. So that's our Horntail based up on his new tower being destroyed. It looks quite dynamic. Looks good up on top of the castle. It just allows me to integrate him into the scene, especially seeing as I'm making so many moment sets that are going up on my shelf. I really am running out of space where I'm currently displaying him. So obviously one more piece to be added. Let's pop Harry in here. We put him on his new broom. Come on, in you go. That's just going to sit on there. You can see our dragon chasing Harry through the skies around Hogwarts. Alright, let's put this fella back together. So here he is, back with his wings and namesake tail attached, chasing Harry around the castle. Now I'd love to show this in situ on top of the castle, but at the moment the castle is literally in pieces, almost entirely disassembled, just while I move some modules around, do a bit of work replacing some bits and pieces. But I'll keep you up to date on that in a future video, and you'll get to see how the castle's looking now. But for now, this is our Hungarian Horntail tower top rebase. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave us a like. And if you'd like to see more Hogwarts mock videos, then please subscribe to Brickanet. Bye.